Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I will make this brief, as I would like to introduce a member, small business owner, that could tell the story a lot better than I ever possibly could. But I do want to, first of all, by way of introduction, Small Business Association of Michigan is a 51-year-old organization, 29,000 members spread across every county in this state, in every industry that you can think of, and a whole bunch of industries that you've never thought of that comprise our membership. So it gives us some insight into the impact and the interconnectedness of our economy. It's really an ecosystem, and you can't take certain pieces out without affecting a whole bunch of other pieces. And so we see that across the board. Some industries that are very directly affected, and then other industries that exist to serve those industries that are directly affected. And we've heard from restaurants today. I'm going to introduce in just a moment Ginny Sherrow from Fenton Winery and Brewery to tell that local community small business impact. But there's I think there's a larger issue here to consider, and that is that our small businesses really they're the character of our communities. They are the people who live and work and go to school and live out their personal lives and support the local community. You can't take them out of the picture without having a dramatic impact across the entire community. And it goes way further than employment, although employment is the first and the most blunt negative impact that we have experienced across industries like the restaurant industry and hospitality and other types of entertainment businesses that have been most impacted by this. So an example would be office workers not going to work. When or not going into the office for their work. You can look at that and say, sure, a lot of those businesses can get by operating that way. But in our downtown areas, there's a whole ecosystem of businesses, including janitorial services and dry cleaners and restaurants and small retail that exist specifically to serve that market. And when you take them out of the mix, then their whole business plan doesn't work. And one other point I wanted to make regarding the impact of the closures is that it really does have for small business owners, they're dealing with all the things that all the rest of us are dealing with within this pandemic. But they're also, at the same time, dealing with a catastrophic economic or far-reaching economic impact on top of that. And so all of those other things, concerns for their relatives and themselves and their employees and their family with the health impacts of COVID-19. On top of that, it's not unusual for a small business owner to have literally every single aspect of their life wrapped up into this enterprise, especially very small business owners. And so when you take away that economic security, it's their retirement, it's their life savings, it's their complete investment, it's their whole picture of economic security is wrapped up in this enterprise. The community benefits because they're risk takers, but the cost to our community when you take them out is substantial and it's certainly in the near term very difficult to measure what the long-term impact of this will be. I want to acknowledge, because I saw, Mr. Chair, that you put out the press release this morning on a supplemental package. My first impression on that supplemental that you put out is that it is the strongest, most substantial pro-small business statement that we have seen out of state government so far, by far. This plan directly impacts, the components of it directly impact and address the ramifications that so many small businesses are facing because they have carried the majority of the economic burden of the broader public good of suppressing the pandemic and the virus spread. And so the idea of covering fraud costs in the unemployment fund so it doesn't get billed back to small business owners later on. The idea of covering some of the liquor license and health department fees that as these small businesses that were closed down before is making a statement to them that, hey, when you're opening back up, we're not going to charge you this year so that you can open back up. I mean, what a pro-small business statement that is to make. And on property taxes, when it comes to property taxes, you know, it's the one type of tax where even when you're closed down, at least in the short term, there's no difference between what you have to pay when you're closed down compared to when you're open. And so all the revenue from being closed down, and especially for those businesses that they're not just selling food, they're selling atmosphere and service. And when you take the atmosphere and service aspect out of their business, it doesn't just translate into takeout. There are some that do, pizza and Chinese food and tacos, things like that, to translate really well to takeout. But when it's service and atmosphere and getting together with people, if that's your product, that's the real thing that you're selling, you take that out of the mix, then, well, you're creating a scenario where the entire structure, the underpinnings of their enterprise are taken away. And so when you make a statement to say, okay, you're going to have to pay your property tax bills, but this year, the most impacted businesses by these government orders are going to have help with that bill that's the same even though that they were closed. What a pro-small business statement that is to make. So I didn't want to let this opportunity go by without saying thank you for that, because we hear all the time people say that they're pro-small business. Everybody's pro-small business. We hear it all the time, but to put action behind it like is represented in the press release you put out this morning, I just want to say thank you for that. And with that, I want to introduce Ginny Sherrow, who is owner and operator of Fenton Winery and Brewery.
Good morning. Thank you. I was asked to tell my story. I'm Ginny Sherrow. My husband and I own Fenton Winery and Brewery. We are not a distribution brewery, we're a destination brewery. So like Brian was saying, our product is our buildings, our team, our service that we provide, our atmosphere. We create experiences. We started Fenton Winery and Brewery in 2007. We started in a strip mall. We're kind of what you call a bootstrap company. We pay as we go. We learned a long time ago, or I was taught a long time ago, that a business like ours is too risky for banks and financial institutions, and so we just kind of worked as we went. We now today we own 2 large buildings on 5 acres in beautiful Fenton, Michigan. One building houses our production facility and our public tap room where guests can come and visit with us. And the other building is a 280-person wedding venue. So we host, well, we did, I hate to say this in past tense, but we host 80 weddings a year. We service thousands of customers a week. We had built our company, we had worked our butts off, and we grew our team to 32 people. What we really pride ourselves though on, like I said, is our experience that we provide there. So we have over 300 club members. There are people who come, they have their glass on the wall. They come and they grab their glass and they visit with us and they chat with our team. We are a work family. We 32 of us, we consider ourselves to be family. We spend lots of hours together. We are passionate. We do what it takes, and we are a team. These are our core values of our work family. We've tested these core values this year to no end. And so far, we've passed the test. So we're very proud of that. The framework of our journey over the last year is not different from thousands of others in the hospitality industry. We kicked off 2020 bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We were named a 50 to watch company, and we were ready to have the best year ever. Our January all-staff meeting was invigorating and fun and filled with awesome 2020 goals. Our work family of 32 was ready to kick some butt. We were ready to go. Then, like a tidal wave, the virus blindsided all of us. When the restaurant closure was announced on March 16th, I immediately contacted my work family and told them it would be okay. We called an emergency all-staff meeting. Our management team reviewed hours, and we committed to keep everyone employed during the carryout that first 2 weeks. Then the stay at home, stay safe order came. We were asked to flatten the curve, to join a movement, to be a part of the solution to keep Michiganders safe. We were on board. We were proud to be a part of that. For safety, we closed down 100%, sent our team home, and we helped flatten the curve. We handed out those temporary leave of absence unemployment forms. I cried before, during, and after that. I did what I thought was best for everyone and for the community. In 12 years, we had been in business. We've never laid anyone off. It was a matter of pride. My husband and I take our responsibility to our team, our work family, very seriously. In good faith, we were doing what we thought was right for Michigan and for the health of our community and our staff. And that did help ease the pain of laying everyone off. Like I said, we were 100% shut down. It was pretty unbelievable. A vibrant, bustling property, just empty. I would visit the property, and so would some of my team members. It was surreal. During the closure, there was a lot of soul searching and worry. Would our team come back? Could we operate a business with strict protocols, with mask wearing, with health screening, and the like? My husband and I would go into the office and we would check voicemails. Calls mounted up from our community. They wanted us to reopen. So we did. My husband and I reopened. We started with 1 carry-out day a week, and then we brought back our management team because the bills were piling up. And we were trying to keep our team together by doing Zoom calls. So we would do weekly Zoom calls with our team, just saying we're getting back to work. We're going to get back to work. So we brought back our management team. Then there were 7 of us. We built out a new web ordering page. We developed new processes, and we wrote our COVID response plan. Finally, 12 weeks later, we welcomed 11 more team members back and a couple days of training on the new COVID safeguards, and we are back open on June 11th. Our measures were elaborate and sound. We did not miss a detail. We combed the executive orders, the CDC guidelines, all the recommendations. Our team took it to heart. They protected each other and the community. The safety measures got better as we operated. We got better at keeping each other safe. The restrictions kept coming at us, however. Every 2 to 4 weeks, something new, something we had to pivot against. It felt like a grueling summer at times, but we had each other. We were doing what it took to stay open and stay safe. We never had one instance of COVID problems at our facility, and we are very proud of that. Our team enjoyed to come to work. We had actually a really amazingly busy summer. So our outdoor garden area was so busy, and the community came out like crazy, which it was awesome. So strangely, we had record days during the COVID in the summer. But I think people wanted to come out. They wanted to see us. They wanted to support us. And, you know, we felt good about it. We felt strong. And on November 8th, we had an all-staff meeting and boasted about our biggest accomplishment of the year. Our work family was back at 32. Sorry. We had built our way back. Together we did that. We passed the test. And then the pause came and ripped us apart again, our work family and away from our community. This is not just a financial problem. This is an emotional hardship. Handing out the unemployment papers again and feeling only anger this time. In this new order, we feel as if the state considers us second-class citizens, non-essential workers. Our career path that we've chosen is not important. The rhetoric about essential versus non-essential takes an emotional toll on the psyche. We know that is not true,
that we are important, that we serve a very important role in the community and in our team members' lives. But the rhetoric, it's just got to stop. I've experienced and seen far more emotional breakdowns in the last 10 months than COVID cases. Our work family, our engaged couples and their families, and I cannot express the agony of the year as we've tried our best to lift them up and offer whatever options we could, of which there were not many. And during some months, we had to just break their hearts because of the restrictions. My team members and I have had many times bursting into tears and fits. Everyone is feeling the stress and fear of the pandemic. Stress for our loved ones, our personal safety, our coworker safety, and fear of constant job loss. Not being able to work and find distraction and comfort in serving others and caring for others takes a toll. The sadness that is found in the quietness of a once bustling taproom and banquet venue is overwhelming. The loss of being a witness to and facilitating beautiful ceremonies and unions of people in love and their families celebrating. There is fear of financial loss, but the mental anguish supersedes this. The governor's press conference actually caused ill reactions in some of our team members. 10 months of living and pivoting based on every word and action that comes from that office is exhausting and debilitating. But we've passed the test so far. Being part of a cross-section of the state mandated to take the brunt of the sacrifice to keep Michiganders safe has been excruciating. And all we've gotten so far is lip service and heartfelt thank yous for the past 11 weeks. We've gotten token grants that are not even remotely enough to make a difference in our lives. We furiously fill out forms, wait in long virtual lines, only to not be the lucky one of thousands to get a grant that's enough for 1 week of payroll. When you provide no tangible support to millions of Michiganders that are asked to bear the burden, what you get is anger, fear, and rebellious thoughts. A far majority of hospitality owners and teams do the right thing every time. We know we can keep people safe and each other safe because it's a part of the fabric of our business and we've done it before. This latest lockdown of our industry has caused good owners who are desperate to save their families and livelihood to be vilified and be made into examples of bad players. In reality, that is simply not true. They are not.
Ms. Sherrow?
Yes.
I'm deeply, deeply sorry. We do have we have another guest, but
I just want to finish with the unemployment. We got our statement from the unemployment office and our reserve has been taken away. It's been completely, everybody that was put on unemployment went against our account and our account is now empty. 13 years of reserve is empty. I will fight that because I wasn't supposed to be charged for that, but that needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed. And then we do need some actual support to come out of this office to prove to us that you do actually value us as part of the society and community. Thank you.
thank you so much for coming today. Thank you, former Lieutenant Governor Brian Kelly, for coming here as well.